right, guys, what's up? It's your man Kurt from Triad Hip Hop Podcast, and this week I want to try to bring a new lyrical breakdown that's more in line with Black History Month. This is a song that meant a lot to me when I grew up in New York, and then of course New York being the mecca of hip hop, so it's kind of the birthplace and all that. So hearing these New York artists, who lived in the same city as me, not too far away, knowing that they could do it, inspired me. So today I want to do a song by a group called Stetsasonic, and this is a song that really meant a lot to me because they were teaching me something that school really wasn't. The song is called Africa, and basically they're speaking about a lot of the bad stuff that's going on in Africa, like apartheid, the segregation type stuff that was really destroying the place. And basically, they were throwing out names of African countries and people who were like presidents in Africa, and I didn't know none of this. School wasn't teaching me none of this. So I remember I learned a lot of these African countries from this song. Shout out to Stetsasonic. They did disband the group after a while, but you had who was it? Fruit Quan, MC Delight, Daddy O. What was it? Prince Paul. And Wise. So they were a dope group, man. I guess they just couldn't maintain the group, so they disbanded early on. But this was a song that really meant a lot to me, because when people, like when I was out in the streets and people would talk about Africa, I ain't know nothing to say, but after this I knew, so anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the song. Like I said, it's called Africa, and it's by Stetsasonic, and this is a song, like I said, that meant a lot to me as a kid, and I think it's appropriate since we're in Black History Month. All right, let's do
it. A-F-R-I-C-A. Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. I know this girl whose name is Lola. She lives in a country called Angola. Her president's name is Dos Santos, and a man named Savimbi playing him too close. She says, hey brother, my country's in a war. We are fighting rebels backed by Pretoria. Upon hearing it, I was pretty upset. You know what? I went and told the Stet, and the Stet said, yo, is Lola's last name Falana? No. Well, my cousin lives in Botswana. Are they in war too? Is a hill on a shoe? My man, they know apartheid like I know you. The president is Missouri, Capra to Gaborone. With a cry for freedom is a universal tone. So are you with it? I'm in beyond a shadow of doubt. So let's spell it on. Spell it on. Spell it on out. A-F-R-I-C-A. Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Speak about the motherland. About the motherland. About the motherland. About the motherland. I seen a TV report and I watched the whole week. That Samora Machel of Mozambique was killed in a crash that couldn't be explained. So D, I wanna break. Yo, brother, refrain. Kenneth Jones is in Zambia. I'm in America. Waffles in Namibia. Harari's in Tanzania. Mugabe's in Harare. Jesse just came back from the homeland. The green and the black, so let's spell it out. A-F-R-I-C-A. Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Speak about the motherland. About the motherland. About the motherland. About the motherland. South Africa no free, neither will we. Free South looking for the stat, and we make a plea to fight apartheid. Everybody to fight against the wicked and help Mugabe, to fight apartheid and assist Nyerere, support the MK and the ANC. We wanna see Nelson and Winnie free. You don't know, you need to study, and when you do, we're sure you'll agree. They need help, but so do we. Them with their government, us and mentality. Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Free, 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 South Africa. AFRICA. Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Free, 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 free. That's the moral of this quiz. It's the moral of this quiz.
You see what I'm saying? So now that you heard the song, you see what I'm saying? I mean, for a young kid growing up in the streets, you go to school, but school tells you very little about places like Africa, specifically. And we all know why. You know what I mean? They don't want to enrich the culture. They don't want to enrich the mind of a young African, Black American kid. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get into the lyrics. So I want to, break down the whole song because, the whole song to me was important, not just one verse. You know what I mean? So here we go. So, of course, you know the hook. AFRICA, Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Now, first of all, that right there, when I was a kid, let's just stop it right there. That part was huge to me, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know none of these African countries. And because of this song, I had them memorized. So, that helped me feel smarter when I was in conversation with other people, just around town, and they be talking about something with Africa, or somebody might try to test you, you don't know nothing about Africa. Name me a country in Africa. And I'm like, yeah, Angola. I can name you another one. Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. You know what I mean? And so, it made you feel good to just know stuff like that where, you wasn't learning that in school. So I think it's important to hear songs like this. And I think we need more of this in today's hip hop culture because right now we don't have enough variety. We don't have enough diversity in hip hop. You know what I mean? Everything is kind of lumped into this one thing. You know what I mean? And as long as you can kind of emulate that to a degree, you're good. And I mean, it's like basically, let's say you lived in California and the only thing you liked was gangster rap, like Snoop Dogg and, NWA and all of that. So basically, you say, okay, this is the only hip hop I like. I don't like lyricism. I don't like club hip hop. I don't like this. I don't like that. All I want is gangster rap. So now you start saying, let's just try to encourage people to stay with gangster rap all the time. You know what I mean? Because that's my favorite. So let's do that. Push that button on gangster rap every time. And after a while, it's like we want something different. That's what I like about growing up in my generation of hip hop. We had different stuff. So if you were in the mood for gangster rap, you could say, let me grab that. You know what I mean? If you were in the mood for lyricism, let me grab that. If you were in the mood for a club banger, let me grab that. You know what I mean? If you were in the mood for raunchy sex lyrics, let me go over here. I know down in Miami they do a lot of, you know what I mean, sexual club bangers like that. So let me grab that. You had that option. We don't have that option nowadays. So anyway, I don't want to get too off track, but that's how I feel. But anyway, so let's go into the first verse. He said, I know this girl whose name is Lola. She lives in a country called Angola. You see what I'm saying? He already kind of dropping that knowledge on you, like, I want to make sure you understand these names and why they're important. And then he said, her president's name is Dos Santos, and a man named Zavimbi is playing him too close. So he giving you some, without going into a long story, they're just giving you straight off the bat facts. You know what I mean? Here is the president of that country. Here is the man who is his rival, that's trying to mess with him or whatever. You know what I mean? And then he says, she says, hey, brother, my country's in war. We are fighting rebels backed by Pretoria, another African country. You know what I mean? Upon hearing this, I was pretty upset. You know what? I went and told the Stet. And the Stet said, yo, is Lola's last name Falana? No. Well, my cousin lives in Botswana. You see what I'm saying? They dropping them names on you. It's like they're not giving you full stories. They just want to make sure you hear these key words. Angola, Botswana, the president, Dos Santos, people that you need to know about. So, I thought that was so important. And so she said, well, my cousin lives in Botswana. Are they in war too? Is a heel in a shoe? Is a heel on a shoe? Like basically, of course, they in war. You know what I mean? Every shoe has a heel. But anyway, he said, my man, they know apartheid like I know you. You know what I mean? And apartheid is something that, really is so messed up, you know what I mean? Because they put South Africa through hell, basically with Africa as a whole. The whole continent of Africa dominated by black people. And South African apartheid was basically the minority, because white people were the minority, and they still are. But basically they said, even though we're the minority, we're going to take over this area of South Africa, and we're going to make you feel like you're the minority. So they made like a hierarchy of who was at the top of the food chain, basically. And they said white people at the top. They allowed Asians to be second, people of color to be third, and indigenous blacks to be very last in their own fucking country. That's how it is. And that's what apartheid basically is. You know what I mean? That segregation shit that was destroying shit in it. I mean, it's still a little bit of that shit going on today, but it's not like it was back in the 90s. You know what I mean? But anyway, so let me get back to it. So he said, my man, they know apartheid like I know you. The president is Masir, the capital Gaborone. When the fight for freedom is a universal tone. I'm sorry, where the fight for freedom is a universal tone. He said, so are you with it? I'm in beyond a shadow of doubt. So let's spell it on out. Africa, Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. To this day, I still know that hook like the back of my hand. You know what I mean? And that's the only way I really learned those countries in Africa, because you don't learn that in school. School ain't teaching you that. You know what I mean? They're not teaching you what's really happening. So anyway, let's go to the second verse. He said, I seen a TV report and I watched the whole week that Samora Michelle of Mozambique was killed in a crash that couldn't be explained. Yo, D, I want to break. Yo, brother, refrain. You know what I mean? They really hitting you with some facts, because it's always some kind of mysterious death that never can be explained, and you just left in the wind, like you just have to deal with it. You know what I mean? So they really throwing something out. Samora Michelle of Mozambique was killed in a crash that couldn't be explained. And he said, yo, D, I want to break. Meaning, I'm pissed off because I want to do something. I want to go crazy about this and fuck some shit up. But he's like, yo, brother, refrain. Then he said, Kenneth Condra's in Zambia. I'm in America. Swapo's in Namibia. Nyeri's in Tanzania. Mugabe's in Harare. Jesse just came back from the homeland, the green and the black. So let's spell it out. You see what I'm saying? These little potent bars, man. It's just giving you straight up facts. It's not even giving you a long drawn out story, just shit you need to know. You know what I mean? He said, Kenneth Condra's in Zambia. I'm in America. Swapo's in Namibia. You know what I mean? I know nothing about Namibia until this song. Never even heard of it. He said, Nyerire's in Tanzania. Mugabe's in Harare. Jesse just came back, meaning Jesse Jackson, because he had went down there to try to, you know what I mean, help the situation. So Jesse just came back from the homeland, the green and the black. So let's spell it out. Then it goes into the hook again. Africa, Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. I mean, these brothers really, really made sure that they weren't just using their platform for bullshit. You know what I mean? And I love that about them. You know, they made some really powerful songs in a short time that the group was alive. You know what I mean? Now, not alive, but, you know, together, I should say. So, you know, then, you know, you got the very last verse. There's another verse that's an extended version, but I'm using this standard version so that we don't keep you too long. So I'm going, this is the one that they did the video for. So he said, South Africa, no free, neither are we. Those are our brothers and sisters across the sea. I'm speaking to the Stet, and we make a plea to fight apartheid, everybody. To fight against the wicked and help Mugabe. To fight apartheid and assist Nyerere. Support the MK and the ANC. We want to see Nelson and Winnie free. You know what I mean? Nelson Mandela and his wife Winnie Mandela. You know what I mean? They were in that South Africa area with all the apartheid. That's why, you know, he was in jail all those years. You know, rest in peace to him. And I believe his wife has passed on as well. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. If I am, I apologize. But he said, we want to see Nelson and Winnie free. You don't know, you need to study. And when you do, we're sure you'll agree. They need help, but so do we. Them with their government, us in mentality. You see what I'm saying? So he's saying their biggest fight over there is their issues with government and going to war. You know what I mean? Where our biggest issue is mentality. So we all need help. So he's basically saying if you educate yourself, if you study, you'll learn a lot of this stuff, man. You know, nobody encourages you at home a lot of times to proactively read, especially in my generation. I think we do a little bit more nowadays, but back in my generation, they didn't do a whole lot of, you know, trying to encourage you to read and learn about these things. You know what I mean? They might have encouraged you to read like the little kid books a little bit, some shit like Curious George or some cartoon character, but not these real big issues that were going on. So, you know, that's just, you know, what was on my heart for today. I just wanted to drop that lyrical breakdown and, you know, hopefully y'all got something out of that, you know, and you know, just try to keep hip hop diverse. You know what I mean? Keep some variety in the hip hop, man. You know what I mean? Speak about some real shit that's going on. You know, not just the violence in the streets and you fucking every bitch out there. You know what I mean? All of that. I mean, that's cool, but it's like we need more than that. You know what I mean? We need more than that. So, you know, just keep that in mind for anybody who's a young aspiring artist who reads or hears this. Make sure that you have some diversity because you will have a long career in hip hop. If you're one-dimensional, you won't last very long. Your career will be one-dimensional if you know, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You want to have that variety in your music, and you want to be able to say, I inspired somebody to do something good and they learned something from me that wasn't just a negative thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my rant for today. This is your man Kurt, Try It Hip Hop. That's my lyrical breakdown. Happy Black History Month, and we'll be happy to do more and more like this. So thank y'all for listening. We'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Peace.